Jason, on today's show, we are interviewing the ophthalmologist from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Dr. Timothy Johnson, who's the co-founder of Southern Eye Consultants. And he's sharing with us about how he's been able to grow his practice by 15% by implementing the Dream 100, the group interview, the search engine optimization, the HTTPS encryption, the no-brainer ads, the Google reviews, all the search engine content. Why do you feel like all the listeners should listen to today's show?
Well, one, Tim is the man, but he is, without a doubt, one of the best cases I've seen come through the program of a diligent doer and somebody who implements. And that 15%, which is one of the craziest things he said, was it's been consistent each month he's grown, has been a result of him implementing each and every one of those systems.
If you feel stuck and your business is just unable to grow for some reason, you don't know what to do, or maybe you now are learning what to do, but you just don't know if the system actually works, this interview with Dr. Timothy Johnson from Tuscaloosa, Alabama is for you.
Some shows don't need a celebrity narrator to introduce the show, but this show does. 2 men, 8 kids, co-created by 2 different women, 13 multi-million-dollar businesses. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Thrivetime Show.
3, 2, 1.
Hello?
Oh, Dr. Timothy Johnson, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I appreciate you agreeing to do a hostile impromptu 6:26 a.m. interview. Your time, though, is it 7:26 or is it 6:26?
6:26. It's God's time.
Now, I have 2 questions for you. We have so many listeners, about 500,000 listeners a month who listen to the show, and many of which I would say are normal. In fact, I would say most are normal. I don't think most people have been self-employed in large part since the age of 16. And so there's a little healthy skepticism that exists, I think. You're an ophthalmologist. Can you kind of explain your educational background?
Yeah, so to get into ophthalmology, you do 4 years of college, 4 years of medical school, and then an internship, and then 3 years of residency. And then some people do a fellowship too, but that's the minimum.
So when you meet a guy who dresses like Adam Sandler, who has a 20,000 square foot building, who is teaching people how to grow companies, can you explain the healthy dose of skepticism, cynicism, sarcasm, whatever that you have experienced when you and I first met or first interacted?
Yeah, I had a lot of skepticism at first because it seemed to make sense, which to me, everything seemed to sound good. When things sound good, I don't like it. But the month thing made me feel a lot better. And then so I was doing it for a few months and went to a conference, and then it really clicked. I think going to the conference made it really click.
Can you talk to me about the kind of growth that you've experienced in terms of just numbers, numeric growth? You're a numbers guy. You're not an idiot. When you're in the world of medical, you have to deal with insurance companies. You have to be accurate. The world of vague generalities doesn't work in that world. Can you kind of explain maybe some of the growth that you've experienced?
Yeah, we've experienced a lot of growth over the last year, this year versus last year. I'd say, somewhere like 15%.
So 15% growth in has it been a year or 6 months or 9 months or?
About 9 months, maybe. Every month over the last year seems to be the same. Yeah. And
we're in an economy where, and correct me if I'm wrong, but according to Forbes, 9 out of 10 businesses fail, startups fail. The average business that actually succeeds or that makes it only grows at about a 3% rate according to the GDP. And I believe that a lot of ophthalmologists are experiencing a shrinking, a declining market, or staying the same. Would you agree that most ophthalmologists are either not growing or are growing very little?
Yeah, I think the market in general, when you're relying on government or insurance and things like that, is getting tougher. And so it's a tough world out there.
So talk to me.
Keep your head above water.
So talk to me about the areas that you have been the most skeptical about, or the areas where you've been like, gosh, I don't know if that's true. Because I think there's somebody out there who is wanting to ask these questions, but they don't, we only have 160 coaching clients, so the vast majority can't talk to us. You know what I mean? What were some of the skeptic points where you're like, I don't know if that's how that works?
I would say the big three are the Google reviews, the group interview, and for me, the website content.
Okay.
I know some people also are skeptical about the Dream 100. That made sense to me beforehand, but the other three didn't.
Let's get into the Dream 100. Can you kind of explain to listeners out there what the Dream 100 is and maybe where you were initially skeptical about it and how it works?
So I have a clinic, Southern Eye Consultants, which is just purely referral based. We pretty much don't do primary eye care. We do get referrals from other doctors. So optometrists like Dr. Z would see you and then say you have a cataract and send it to us. So we don't generate our own revenue. What we do, you know what I'm saying? We get referrals from it's a business to business type business. And so it made a lot of sense to me to need to go out to them and keep my face there. I wasn't doing it as well as I should have. And then you said something that made a lot of sense. You said go there every week because if you show them that you're reliable in going there every week, you'll show them that you're reliable in taking care of their patients. And that I was like, well, that makes a lot of sense.
There it is.
This homeless man's not as crazy as he looks.
Now, this is interesting. Is the diligence, the consistent application of effort is what changes things. But what the world wants is a new idea. We want a new idea.
Yeah.
People go to seminars and going, oh, I got all these new ideas. I'm talking about implementation. I think you've learned that about me at this point, but I don't care about education, theoretical education, general education. I care about implementation. And when you do the Dream 100, these are the 4 or 5 steps you're going to go through. Step 1, they say, why are you here? Why are you showing up at my office? I'm an optometrist. Why are you showing up? Then step 2 is it's like, I'm annoyed that you continue to show up. It's kind of it's step 1. It's either you're annoyed or they're just kind of shocked. Step 2, they become kind of curious as to why would you keep showing up. Step 3, it's like, this guy keeps showing up. Step 4, they're like, I kind of like the fact that this guy keeps showing up. And then step 5, they're like, oh, I've acquired a taste for this beer. And even though I didn't like the taste of beer the first 8 times I had it, I've acquired a taste and now I want another beer. Can you kind of explain that cycle? Because you've gone through that cycle, and I think there's a lot of people out there who don't believe it will ever work.
Yeah, I think it's just you're going to get a certain amount of referral sources just off the bat. Let's say, I don't know, your top 15%. And then, like I've been working on this business for 5 years, I think. And I've still, this year I was able to convince 1 or 2 to start sending to me. And then I've still got 2 that I'm still working on just for 5 years. Just every time I'll host a dinner and just invite them. And just takes time. You got to break them.
It's kind of like my relationship with John Maxwell. I don't know how many times John Maxwell's team shut me down, but eventually they said yes. Now, I've heard that we're supposed to have Dave Ramsey on our show here soon. And
cool.
Dave's been shutting me down for quite a while. And we had the founder of Ritz-Carlton on the show, Horst Schultz. That dude shut me down a lot. I remember Michael Levine. That guy shut me down more than anybody. I mean, the PR consultant for Michael Jackson and Prince.
You never know why they're saying no. And so if you believe that you provide a better product, you almost owe it to them to get them to use you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I think if somebody out there is going, okay, the Dream 100, okay, I'm finally getting that, okay. But Google reviews, Google reviews, really? I'm an ophthalmologist, okay? Listen, I'm a doctor. I'm a lawyer. I'm a dentist. I'm a home builder. People don't read Google reviews. Come on, man. No one reads Google reviews. It's all word of mouth. I'm a doctor. Can you please help somebody work through the cobwebs of getting Google reviews?
I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me. It seems like the craziest thing in the world. But it's something. I'll have patients come. I don't know. I text you once a week. Someone will show up and say, "Oh yeah, I just Googled you. So do you want to do my surgery?" I'm like, "Okay." Like, I'm going to do a good job. You're lucky you found me. But yeah, it's something with, you can explain this better than I can, with social validation.
Yeah.
People need it's hard to navigate the world until you need shortcuts. And that seems to be the shortcut that we're using.
Yeah, I have found this. This is really weird, but I remember. And in fact, I'm convinced that you and I wouldn't be talking right now unless this happened. I was DJing the heck out of my events. I started to no longer be terrible, and I was 22, and I got a call from the Tulsa Chamber of Commerce. This is in 2002. And they said, we would like to make you, would like to talk to you, would like to put you in the nomination for the Metro Chamber of Commerce Entrepreneur of the Year. Not for the state of Oklahoma at this point. This is just for the city of Tulsa. And they're going, do you want to fill out the packet? And I'm like thinking, okay, do I have to pay for this? You know what I mean? Those fake awards, Tim, where you have to, the fake award. Like, do you want to be, you know what I'm talking about? These awards.
Like best doctor of New York. Like, yeah, those are all, yeah.
Yeah. And so I was thinking, well, geez, I don't know whether I want, this is probably a scam. Well, I met with the chamber and I realized that it wasn't a scam. They made me fill out this packet where I had to put, Tim, my actual gross revenue. The gall. They actually wanted to interview my actual former customers.
Is that like the blue ribbon thing that? This was
the Young Entrepreneur of the Year award for the Tulsa Chamber.
Similar process. They sort of dissected you.
Yeah, and so you go through all this, and then at some point, they said, "Well, hey, you made the top 10 or whatever. Now we need to get more customers testimonials we can call. We need to interview your employees. It's a big old thing." Yeah. And then I'm starting to get annoyed at this point. I'm like, this is stupid. Why do I need to prove to you that I'm good at my job? I'm already making money. I don't need to prove to you. This is stupid. I don't need to prove to you that I am good at my job. Screw you guys. I remember saying that to myself. Screw you guys. I'm not doing that. Well, I kept filling out the paperwork. My wife's like, just fill out the paperwork. I'm like, this is stupid. I don't like paperwork. That's why I'm an entrepreneur. I'm not a doctor. Well, anyway, I fill out the paperwork, fill it out. All of a sudden, they call me and said, hey, we want you to know you've won. So I got to put a suit on. I'm in the Tulsa world. Started getting that validation. Big companies like Boeing, that people make airplanes. Southwest Airlines, Quick Trip, Bama companies, Bank of America started booking me to be their entertainer of choice. And I'm going, what the crap? But that was the kind of validation I needed back in the day. And now it's like Google reviews have replaced all that. Because didn't you graduate pretty high, pretty near the top of your class, or at least you were the anchor guy, right? I mean, didn't you do well in school?
I wasn't the anchor guy. I mean, what's the name of the guy who graduates from West Point at the bottom?
I think he's called the anchor. It was the Naval Academy.
I think it's called the GOAT.
The GOAT? Nice.
No, I think you're right. The Naval Academy.
Yeah, it's the anchor. I know that John McCain was second to the GOAT. Senator John McCain was second to the anchor. He was number 2 from the bottom. Now,
West Point's called the GOAT.
But doesn't that kind of just irritate you a little bit that you have to go out there and get reviews? Doesn't that bother you? I mean, you already have a great GPA. You went to school for how long again? How long did you go to school?
Oh no, because I cheated my way through school. So this is kind of for me. It's just another hoop that I gotta squeeze my. No, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I'm kind of a pragmatist, like whatever works. But I could see how it would annoy you. Like I can see why people don't do it. If that makes sense.
Now, what about the?
Sorry
to cut you off there. Cut out for a minute.
Oh no! It seems arbitrary. Like why this? But I don't know. You know the statistics. 95% of people use. My secretary uses Bing, and I get mad at her every time I see that. Why are you using Bing? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's like 1 to 2% of the population. Check this out. Google's the number 1 search engine, and YouTube is the number 2. And YouTube has more combined searches than Bing and Yahoo combined. Now let's talk
Amazon's
about
the same way. It's all
review driven. Now let's talk about the group interview. Somebody out there is going, I don't want to do the group interview. It seems stupid to me that I'm going to interview all the candidates at the same time. Well, let's talk about the process. Step 1, you post on Indeed, Craigslist, wherever. You always post every week. Always Now Hiring post. Step 1. Step 2, you interview all the candidates at the same time, and you do not read the resumes. Step 3, after you interview all the candidates at the same time, then after you find the candidate that you like, then you read the resumes, only after they've shadowed you. Can you explain maybe why you initially thought that was a crazy process and maybe how that's helping you out now?
I've never heard of it before. It seems crazy.
Yep.
Why wouldn't you read the resumes? And then what if they, what aren't they going to be? They're not going to be themselves in the group interview, and so it didn't make any sense to me. And plus the other thing that didn't make any sense is if we're not hiring right now, why would we be hiring? Why would I waste an hour interviewing people if I'm not hiring? That didn't make any sense. That still doesn't make any sense to me, but it works, and so I just do it.
Well, let me explain to you. Let me explain.
I just learned whatever you say. I just do it.
Well, let me explain why.
And until it doesn't work, I'll just keep doing it.
Well, let me explain why it works for about there. Is the New England Patriots are a team that I'm obsessed with. I talk about them all the time. You obviously like Nick Saban, who is a Bill Belichick disciple. But last year, Cordero Patterson was great. He's great. He was great. Did a very great job. Yay, Cordero Patterson. However, he says this year, I need to get paid. I got to get paid. I can't. Guys, I know that as a player, I say that the number 1 goal I have as a player is to win a Super Bowl. But you and I know, apparently, that's not the main goal for some guys. So, but that's Bill Belichick's goal. So Belichick then.
What did Latrell Sprewell? He said he got to feed my family.
Right after he was making over $10 million a year. Then they get right. Gunnar Olszewski, an undrafted kid from Bemidji State, a Division II football program, who was a defensive back in college, now has taken the spot of Cordero Patterson at wide receiver.
Yeah, I just Googled that. Bemidji State. I didn't even know there was a place.
Division II, baby. Yeah. And then think about this. So while the Cowboys and every other team in the NFL are begging their players to come back, and players are holding the team hostage, the ownership hostage, because they have to pay them or they won't come back. They're holding out. After they've clearly signed a contract that they've agreed to, they're like, I'm holding out for the big bucks. You can't hold out after you're signing a contract unless you're an a-hole. But the point is, so people say, I signed a contract, I know I agreed to it, but I want to change it. Okay. Right there I have a problem. But Bill Belichick's like, it's cool. It's cool. By the way, when I say a-hole, I mean amazing whole person. You must be an amazing whole person. Just perfect in every way. What an a-hole. So anyway, so then another receiver says, I got to get paid too. Chris Hogan. He's like, I got to get paid. Now to Chris Hogan's credit, his contract was over. To Patterson's credit, his contract was over. But then they got Jacoby Myers. Jacoby Myers, another undrafted kid. They just signed him. So the Patriots have replaced 2 starting NFL National Football League players with undrafted people. If that's not an in-your-face to the people who want the bigger contract, they're going to, hey, we're going to win without you, buddy. And they do it every year. But what if Bill Belichick, you watch a little bit of football there, Tim. What would happen if Bill Belichick stopped scouting new talent? Even though people have said verbally, I'm committed, coach. I'll be here next year, coach. What would happen?
He's going to be held hostage by his current talent.
There it is. And that's what happens. Yeah. And that's why we can never stop. And I'm not ripping the program of NC State Wolfpack football, but I don't know that the NC State is the number 5 football team, number 1 football team in America. Right? Is NC State in the top 5?
Currently.
Are they usually a top 30, top 20? Are they normally top 25? You watch college football more than I do. Are they normally top 25?
Not usually.
So if NC State has a guy, and by the way, Jacoby Myers in college played quarterback, and they switched him to receiver towards the end of his career. But if you stop that group interview, you're going to be held hostage. Now, search engine articles. Can you talk to me about, you're overall wrestling with or grappling with how Google works?
I didn't get it. And then, what really flipped the switch for me was listening to those interviews you sent me.
Oh, with Bruce Clay?
Bruce Clay and then the other guy.
We have Bruce Clay. He represents the company that is called BruceClay.com. It's a great company, and if you type in Thrivetime Show Bruce Clay, you can hear my interviews with him. He writes Search Engine for Dummies every year. For the listeners out there who aren't familiar with that show, go check that out. That's Bruce Clay.
That was a good it was like 2 1.5 hour it was mind expanding.
He works with like the Home Depot, Target, eBay, Toyota, Netflix, huge companies, the Weather Channel. And then the other guy is Gary Grant, and his company's called SEO Inc. SEO Inc. And his clients, he works with OxyFresh, the carpet cleaning franchise that I've worked with over the years. He works with just specific companies here. He works with 20th Century Fox, SC Johnson, Wedding Wire, Paul Mitchell. He works with who is the kind of a dirtier version of Victoria's Secret? Who's the dirtier one?
Oh, I thought that was interesting. What's that called?
Fredericks of Hollywood.
You're talking about Fredericks of Hollywood.
Yeah, he works with them. Don't Google it. Don't check that out, folks. But he works with them. That's the more racy of the two. Whoa, Shunda.
But he was saying like they had nothing, and then he worked with them, and then they were like number one. And he said that that alone like flipped the switch for him. I was like, well, that's a way to compete. That makes sense.
So for anybody out there listening, Dr. Tim, who is a doctor, dentist, lawyer, whatever, some professional, some business owner out there, and they're saying, I don't know if the group interview works. I don't know if Google reviews work. I don't know if the group interview works. I don't know if I need to actually put the HTTPS encryption on my site. I don't know whether I need to team up with a charity. I don't know if the conference works. I don't know. What would you say to him?
Just try it. It's only $1,700 a month. If you don't like it, you can go back to keep doing what you're doing.
Now, is that a dog in the background, or are you just excited to answer that question?
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. That's my dog, Colby. He's a beast. He's like 140 pounds. He's loving on me.
What kind of dog is he?
What is he? He's an English Golden Retriever, so he's a little bigger and boxier than a normal Golden.
Yeah.
He's a big white dog.
I have a question for you. This show's not very political. I just want to know. That's a dirty dog. It's a dirty dog. How does that dirty dog typically vote? Does that dirty dog typically vote Republican or Democrat? Because that is a dirty dog.
He votes Libertarian.
Nice.
He's a live and let live kind of guy.
Okay, so if you're out there, by no means are we saying passively, aggressively, or aggressively do only dirty dogs vote Libertarian. But as on behalf of all the dirty dogs out there who do vote Libertarian, welcome to my team, Team Libertarian.
Yeah,
Team Dirty Dog.
Team Dirty Dog. That's we got the elephant, right?
Yeah.
And then you got the donkey. Elephants for the Republicans.
He'd be
the
a great
donkeys
mascot for the Libertarians.
We need what kind of dog is
out.
What kind of dog is he?
He's just gonna hang out and leave you alone. He's a
English Golden Retriever.
You say English Golden Retriever?
Yeah. If you Google, hang on a second.
I'm Googling right now. I'll tell you that.
Oh wow.
Oh, he's a beautiful dirty dog.
Yeah. So they look a little different. So if you look at, go to Google Images.
Yeah.
And then, the first picture. That's kind of what he looks like.
Do you wash him?
They look a little different. They're basically golden, but they're like boxier and creamier, I guess, in color.
Do you wash him, or is he really a dirty dog?
It's like fighting the ocean. It's just good keeps coming. It's like that Nordic king who fought the ocean. You can't fight it. It's just he stays dirty. He's filthy.
Hey, well, I appreciate you for joining us this morning, and if you need anything, man, I'm just a text away, and I hope you have a great day with your kiddos.
Cool. Thanks a lot.
Take care, man. And now, without any further ado, 3, 2, 1, boom!
Hello, my name is Charles Kolaw with Kolaw Fitness. Today I want to tell you a little bit about Clay Clark and how I know Clay Clark. Clay Clark has been my business coach since 2017. He's helped us grow from 2 locations to now 6 locations. We're planning to do 7 locations in 7 years and then franchise. And Clay has done a great job of helping us navigate anything that has to do with like running the business, building the systems, the checklists, the workflows, the audits, how to navigate lease agreements, how to buy property, how to work with brokers and builders. This guy is just amazing. He's this kind of guy has worked in every single industry. He's written books with like Lee Crockrell, head of Disney, with the 40,000 cast members. He's friends with like Mike Lindell. He does Reawaken America tours, where he does these tours all across the country, where 10,000 or more people show up to some of these tours. On the day-to-day, he does anywhere from about 160 companies. He's at the top. He has a team of business coaches, videographers, and graphic designers and web developers, and they run 160 companies every single week. So think of this guy with a team of business coaches running 160 companies. So in the weekly, he's running 160 companies. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's doing Reawaken America tours. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's also doing business conferences where 200 people show up, and he teaches people a 13-step proven system that he's done and worked with billionaires, helping them grow their companies. So I've seen guys from startups go from startup to being multimillionaires, teaching people how to get time freedom and financial freedom through the system. Critical thinking, document creation, putting it into organizing everything in their head to building it into a franchisable, scalable business. Like one of his businesses has like 500 franchises. That's just one of the companies or brands that he works with. So amazing guy. Elon Musk kind of like smart guy. He kind of comes off sometimes as socially awkward, but he's so brilliant, and he's taught me so much. When I say that, like Clay is like, he doesn't care what people think when you're talking to him. He cares about where you're going in your life and where he can get you to go. And that's what I like most about him. He's like a good coach. A coach isn't just making you feel good all the time. A coach is actually helping you get to the best you. And Clay has been an amazing business coach. Through the course of that, we became friends. I was really most impressed with him is when I was shadowing him one time. We went into a business deal and listened to it. I got to shadow and listen to it. And when we walked out, I knew that he could make millions on the deal, and they were super excited about working with him. And he told me, he's like, I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to turn it down, because he knew it was going to harm the common good of people in the long run. And the guy's integrity just really wowed me. It brought tears to my eyes to see that this guy, his highest desire was to do what's right. And anyways, just an amazing man. So anyways, impacted me a lot. He's helped navigate anytime I've got nervous or worried about how to run the company, or navigating competition and an economy that's like, I remember we got closed down for 3 months. He helped us navigate on how to stay open, how to get back open, how to just survive through all the COVID shutdowns, lockdowns, because our clubs were all closed for 3 months, and you have $350,000 of bills you've got to pay, and we have no accounts receivable. He helped us navigate that, and of course we were conservative enough that we could afford to take that on for a period of time. But it was anyways, great man. I'm very impressed with him. So Clay, thank you for everything you're doing, and I encourage you, if you haven't ever worked with Clay, work with Clay. He's going to help magnify you, and there's nobody I have ever met that has the ability to work as hard as he does. He probably sleeps 4, maybe 6 hours a day, and literally the rest of the time he's working, and he can outwork everybody in the room every single day, and he loves it. So anyways, this is Charles Kola with Kola Fitness. Thank you, Clay, and anybody out there that's wanting to work with Clay, it's a great opportunity to ever work with him. So you guys have a blessed one. This is Charles Kola. We'll see you guys. Bye-bye.
Hi, I'm Aaron Antis with Shaw Homes. I first heard about Clay through a mortgage lender here in town who had told me what a great job he had been doing for them, and I actually noticed he was driving a Lamborghini all of a sudden, so I was willing to listen. In my career, I've sold a little over $800 million in real estate. So honestly, I thought I kind of knew everything about marketing and homes. And then I met Clay, and my perception of what I knew and what I could do definitely changed. After doing $800 million in sales over a 15-year career, I really thought I knew what I was doing. I've been managing a large team of salespeople for the last 10 years here with Shaw Homes. And I mean, we've been a company that's been in business for 35 years. We've become one of the largest builders in the Tulsa area, and that was without Clay. So when I came to know Clay, I really thought, man, there's not much more I need to know, but I'm willing to listen. The interesting thing is our internet leads from our website has actually, in a 4-month period of time, has gone from somewhere around 10 to 15 leads in a month to 180 internet leads in a month. Just from the few things that he's shown us how to implement that I honestly probably never would have come up with on my own. So I got a lot of good things to say about the system that Clay put in place with us, and it's just been an incredible experience. I am very glad that we met and had the opportunity to work with Clay. So the interaction with the team and with Clay on a weekly basis is honestly very enlightening. One of the things that I love about Clay's perspective on things is that he doesn't come from my industry. He's not somebody who's in the home building industry. I've listened to all the experts in my field. Our company has paid for me to go to seminars, international builder shows, all kinds of places where I've had the opportunity to learn from the experts in my industry. But the thing that I found working with Clay is that he comes from such a broad spectrum of working with so many different types of businesses that he has a perspective that's difficult for me to gain because I get so entrenched in what I do, I'm not paying attention to what other leading industry experts are doing. And Clay really brings that perspective for me. It is very valuable time every week when I get that hour with him. From my perspective, the reason that any business owner who's thinking about hooking up with Thrive needs to definitely consider it is because the results that we've gotten in a very short period of time are honestly monumental. It has really exceeded my wildest expectation of what he might be able to do. I came in skeptical because I'm very pragmatic, and as I've gone through the process over just a few months, I've realized it's probably one of the best moves we've ever made. I think a lot of people probably feel like they don't need a business or marketing consultant because they maybe are a little bit prideful and like to think they know everything. I know that's how I felt coming in. I mean, we're a big company that's definitely one of the largest in town. And so we kind of felt like we knew what we were doing. And I think for a lot of people, they let their ego get in the way of listening to somebody that might have a better or different perspective than theirs. I would just really encourage you, if you're thinking about working with Clay, I mean, the thing is, it's month to month. Go give it a try and see what happens. I think in the 35-year history of Shaw Homes, this is probably the best thing that's happened to us. And I know if you give them a shot, I think you'll feel the same way. I know for me, the thing I would have missed out on if I didn't work with Clay is I would have missed out on literally an 1,800% increase in our internet leads. Going from 10 a month to 180 a month, that would have been a huge financial decision to just decide not to give it a shot. I would absolutely recommend Clay Clark to anybody who's thinking about working with somebody in marketing. I would skip over anybody else you were thinking about, and I would go straight to Clay and his team. I guarantee you're not going to regret it because we sure haven't.
My name is Danielle Sprick, and I am the founder of D. Sprick Realty Group here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. After being a stay-at-home mom for 12 years and my 3 kids started school and they were in school full-time, I was at a crossroads and trying to decide what do I want to do? My degree and my background is in education, but after being a mom and staying home and all of that, I just didn't have a passion for it like I once did. My husband suggested real estate. He's a home builder, so real estate and home building go hand in hand, and we just rolled with it. I love people, I love working with people, I love the building relationships, but one thing that was really difficult for me was the business side of things. the processes and the advertising and marketing, I knew that I did not have what I needed to make that what it should be. So I reached out to Clay at that time, and he and his team have been extremely instrumental in helping us build our brand, help market our business, our agents, the homes that we represent. Everything that we do is a direct line from Clay and his team and all that they've done for us. We launched our brokerage, our real estate brokerage, 8 months ago. And in that time, we've gone from myself and one other agent to just this week, we signed on our 16th agent. We have been blessed with the fact that we right now have just over 10 million in pending transactions. 3 years ago, I never would have even imagined that I would be in this role that I'm in today, building a business, having 16 agents. But I have to give credit where credit's due. And Clay and his team and the business coaching that they've offered us has been huge. It's been instrumental in what we're doing. Don't ever limit your vision. When you dream big, big things happen.
I started a business because I couldn't work for anyone else. I do things my way. I do what I think is in the best interest of the patient. I don't answer to insurance companies. I don't answer to large corporate organizations. I answer to my patient, and that's it. My thought when I opened my clinic was I can do this all myself. I don't need additional outside help in many ways. I went to medical school. I can figure this out. But it was a very, very steep learning curve. Within the first 6 months of opening my clinic, I had a $63,000 embezzlement. I lost multiple employees. Clay helped us weather the storm of some of the things that are just a lot of people experience, especially in the medical world. He was instrumental in helping with the specific written business plan. He's been instrumental in hiring good quality employees, using the processes that he outlines for getting in good talent, which is extremely difficult. He helped me in securing the business loans. He helped me with web development and search engine optimization. We've been able to really keep a steady stream of clients coming in because they found us on the web. With everything that I encountered, everything that I experienced, I quickly learned it is worth every penny to have someone in your team that can walk you through and even avoid some of the pitfalls that are almost invariable in starting your own business. I'm Dr. Chad Edwards, and I own Revolution Health and Wellness Clinic.
The Thrivetime Show, 2-day interactive business workshops, are the highest and most reviewed business workshops on the planet.
You can learn the proven 13-point business systems that Dr. Zellner and I have used over and over to start and grow successful companies. I mean, we get into the specific steps on what you need to do to optimize your website. We're going to teach you how to fix your conversion rate. We're going to teach you how to do a social media marketing campaign that works. How do you raise capital? How do you get a small business loan? We teach you everything you need to know here during a 2-day, 15-hour workshop. It's all here for you. You work every day in your business, but for 2 days you can escape and work on your business and build these proven systems so now you can have a successful company that will produce both the time freedom and the financial freedom that you deserve. You're going to leave energized, motivated, but you're also going to leave empowered. The reason why I've built these workshops is because as an entrepreneur, I always wish that I had this. And because there wasn't anything like this, I would go to these motivational seminars, no money down, real estate, Ponzi scheme, get motivated seminars, and they would never teach me anything. It was like you went there and you paid for the big chocolate Easter bunny, but inside of it, it was a hollow nothingness. And I wanted the knowledge, and they're like, oh, but we'll teach you the knowledge after our next workshop. And the great thing is we have nothing to upsell. At every workshop, we teach you what you need to know. There's no one in the back of the room trying to sell you some next big get-rich-quick, walk-on-hot coals product. It's literally, we teach you the brass tacks, the specific stuff that you need to know to learn how to start and grow a business. And I encourage you to not believe what I'm saying, and I want you to Google the Z66 auto auction. I want you to Google elephant in the room. Look Look at Robert Zellner and Associates. Look them up and say, are they successful because they're geniuses, or are they successful because they have a proven system? When you do that research, you will discover that the same systems that we use in our own business can be used in your business. Come to Tulsa, book a ticket, and I guarantee you it's going to be the best business workshop ever, and we'll even give you your money back if you don't love it. We've built this facility for you, and we're excited to see you.